Hi, my name is Brett Ferreira. Today, it's my assignment to take one topic related to cryptocurrency and explain it at 4 different levels of complexity. The topic I've chosen is zero knowledge rollups. Zero knowledge rollups, or ZK rollups, are a solution for scaling the Ethereum network. ZK rollups allow for secure off chain transaction processing and have the potential to increase the network's throughput while reducing transaction fees. ZK rollups may hold the key to making Ethereum more efficient, scalable, and accessible in the future. That's why I'm trying to get better at explaining them to all different kinds of people. Hi there. Today we're going to talk about something called zero knowledge rollups. Now that sounds kind of complicated and boring, doesn't it? I agree. So whenever I talk about them, I like to call them by their cool nickname, ZK Rollups. That's way better, don't you think? Yeah. Whatever we want to call them, let's see if we can talk about what they do and what they are. It all starts with this computer program that people all over the world use, and it's called Ethereum. Now, Ethereum is about 7 years old, just like you. Also, like you, as Ethereum got older, it grew bigger and bigger and bigger because lots of people really like to use it. In fact, so many people use it so often now that it can't always do everything that people ask it to do as quickly as it used to. Do you think that that makes people feel happy or feel sad? Yeah, you're right, very sad. But some very smart people are working really hard to make everyone happy again by using ZK rollups. Let me explain how. Imagine I took a big bucket of marbles and I poured it out on the floor in here, and you needed to count all the marbles one at a time as you put them back into the bucket. That would take a long time, right? But what if we imagined that your brother and your sister and all of your cousins and all of your friends could come in here and help you? You could give each one of them a bucket of their own that they could put marbles in while they counted them. And when all the marbles were off the floor, each of your friends and cousins and brother and sister could bring their bucket to you and tell you how many marbles they picked up and pour their bucket back into the big bucket. Then you could just add up all the numbers they told you and you would know how many marbles were in the bucket, even though you didn't have to count any of the marbles yourself. With all that help, do you think that you would get the marbles counted faster or slower than if you had to just do it by yourself? I think so too. Way faster. The way that your family and friends helped you in the story we imagined is the same way that ZK Rollups help Ethereum. They also have some special friends that they call sequencers, and they are really good at counting things off to the side and then letting Ethereum know their counts all at once. This is how they help Ethereum get more counting done in less time. What's going on? I'm guessing that they told you I'm here to talk about zero knowledge rollups on Ethereum. That's awesome. Let's get right into it. First off, let's talk about what Ethereum is. Ethereum is a computer network that allows people to use digital currency and trade different kinds of digital assets. Like any computer network, Ethereum has limits to how many transactions it can handle all at once. That's where zero knowledge rollups come in. Zero knowledge rollups, or ZK rollups for short, are a layer 2 scaling solution for Ethereum. They work by processing and validating transactions off chain, which means outside of the main Ethereum network. Let's say you want to send some Ethereum to someone else. Instead of submitting that transaction directly to Ethereum, the transaction is sent to a group of nodes called sequencers. These sequencers are responsible for processing and validating the transactions off chain. Once they've done that, they bundle all the transactions into a single transaction and submit that to the Ethereum network. Good question. That's the primary reason most people are interested in them, but there's actually another huge benefit they offer, especially when you compare them to some of the other options for making the network faster. You see, ZK Rollups give you the benefit of increased transaction processing capacity without sacrificing security or privacy. They keep most of the details of the transaction a secret and only share the information that is absolutely necessary. What a great question. That's where zero knowledge rollups use zero knowledge proofs. A zero knowledge proof is a mathematical proof that can verify something is true without revealing any information about it. In this case, it proves that the sequencers process the transactions correctly without revealing any information about the individual transactions. And that's ZK Rollups in a nutshell. It's an exciting development in the world of Ethereum and could potentially revolutionize how we use digital currency and assets. Hey there. You're probably already familiar with the concept of cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology, right? Great. Today, we're going to talk about a recent development in Ethereum known as Zero Knowledge Rollups, or ZK Rollups for short. At its core, Ethereum is a decentralized computer network that allows people to send and receive digital currency and trade different kinds of digital assets. However, just like any computer network, it has limits to how many transactions it can handle all at once. That's where ZK Rollups come in. ZK Rollups are a layer 2 scaling solution for Ethereum. They work by processing and validating transactions off chain, which means outside of the main Ethereum network. This allows for much faster transaction processing times and can handle thousands or even millions of transactions per second. Not only do they improve the speed and scalability of the network, but they also allow for more complex transactions and applications that may not have been feasible before. This can open up new opportunities for developers and businesses and make Ethereum more practical and useful for everyday use. In simpler terms, imagine you want to send some Ethereum to someone else. Instead of submitting that transaction directly to the Ethereum network, the transaction is sent to a group of nodes called sequencers. These sequencers process and validate the transactions and then bundle them together in a single transaction and submit that to the Ethereum network. But all of this is done off chain, which means that it doesn't clog up the Ethereum network and slow it down. And the verification is done using zero knowledge proofs, which means the transactions are kept private and secure. Yeah, they are until they start to get a better understanding that a zero knowledge proof is a mathematical proof that something is true that doesn't require to reveal any information about it. In the case of Ethereum, it proves that the sequencers process the transactions correctly without revealing any information about the individual transactions. This is accomplished through complex cryptographic algorithms that allow for this kind of secure and private verification. Hopefully, you now have a better understanding of ZK rollups and how they revolutionize how we use digital currency and assets in the future. Thanks for meeting with me today. I'm excited that we get to spend some time talking about ZK rollups. As you may know, ZK Rollups are a recent development in Ethereum that aims to address the scalability issues faced by the network while maintaining privacy and security. The core idea behind ZK Rollups is to process and validate transactions off-chain outside of the main Ethereum network, which allows for much faster transaction processing times and can handle thousands or even millions of transactions per second. ZK Rollups utilize zero-knowledge proofs to ensure transaction validity and security. A zero-knowledge proof is a cryptographic protocol that allows a party to prove to another party that a statement is true without revealing any information about the statement beyond its truth. In the context of ZK Rollups, zero-knowledge proofs are used to demonstrate that sequencers have properly processed transactions without revealing the details of those transactions. This is accomplished using sophisticated cryptographic algorithms which enable secure and private verification of transaction validity. Of course, let's consider a scenario where you want to send some Ethereum to someone else. Instead of submitting that transaction directly to the Ethereum network, the transaction is sent to a group of nodes called sequencers. These sequencers process and validate the transactions and then bundle them together into a single transaction and submit that single transaction to the Ethereum network. But this is all done off-chain, which means that it doesn't clog up the base layer of the Ethereum network and slow it down. And the verification is done using zero-knowledge proofs, which means the transactions are kept private and secure. Yes, I'm guessing what you've heard about are what's called optimistic rollups. One of the main advantages of ZK rollups over optimistic rollups is their level of security. ZK rollups use zero-knowledge proofs to verify transaction validity, which provides a higher level of security without revealing any transaction data to the network. This means that even if someone were to gain access to that off-chain data, they would not be able to determine the transaction details. On the other hand, optimistic rollups rely on a challenge period where any discrepancies in transaction processing can be reported and verified. While this can be an effective method in theory, it's less secure, and it also assumes that other network participants will invest resources in validating transactions during that challenge period, even though they may not have any real incentive to do so. This is one of the reasons that optimistic rollups do not offer the same level of security and privacy as ZK rollups. Important question. ZK Rollups offer several benefits for the Ethereum ecosystem. The speed and scalability that they bring to the network not only mean that simple transactions will be quicker and cheaper, but it also means that the network will be able to handle more complex transactions and applications that may not have been feasible before. This can open up brand new opportunities for developers and businesses and make Ethereum more practical for everyday use cases. ZK Rollups are also compatible with existing Ethereum smart contracts and dApps. They use the same EVM as the main network, which means that dApps can be seamlessly integrated with ZK Rollups. This is how ZK Rollups allow developers to build more complex and feature-rich applications that would have been impossible to implement on the main Ethereum network alone. What a great discussion. I appreciate you taking the time to have it with me today. By now, you can probably tell I feel strongly that as Ethereum continues to grow and evolve, ZK Rollups will play an important role in its development and adoption.